So, Palantir has been on a huge downtrend the past 4 months, falling massively since August, so I had to adjust my price target for Palantir stock. Look, I love this stock, but love is not the answer in the stock market. And with growth slowing, and a recession looming, and the Fed continuing to increase rates, is it a mistake to buy Palantir stock since the factors are lining up to send it a lot lower? Does Alex Karp actually hurt Palantir shareholders? But more importantly, how does all this change my price target for Palantir stock? Well, I will answer every one of those questions today, and I just ask in exchange for you to gently tap that like button and consider subscribing too. It's super easy to do. So let's talk about Alex Karp actually hurting shareholders first. I mean, every time someone in our group posts a video or an interview with him, it's like the guy is on another planet or something. I mean, either he's talking way over everyone's head to a point where it kind of borders on being a crazy person, and the hair thing doesn't help with all that, or he comes across as a complete arrogant jerk who thinks he is smarter and better than everyone else. I mean, seriously, he does not come across well at all. And it seems to be even worse on earnings calls, as they seem just kind of disorganized and they do nothing to help explain the product, what they do, and the value they bring to the market, their customers, and the shareholders. Now, I will say his past couple of interviews have been vastly improved, and the last earnings call was much better than the previous two have been, but I have to be honest with you guys. Overall, it is not good at all. I'm sorry, it's just not. I mean, I'm not a pumper. You guys come here for the truth, and I cannot sugarcoat it. This hurts shareholders no matter how you want to spin it. Now, having kind of said all that, a world-changing company is not usually led by a typical kind of, buttoned-up CEO, suit and tie kind of guy. It's usually led and driven by an eccentric, kind of eclectic kind of individual. See Tesla and Elon Musk for that. I mean, I don't think we need to discuss that here. You guys kind of get what I'm saying with that. Those types of individuals are the types that lead those kind of game-changing, world-changing type companies. Long-term, it actually rewards shareholders richly. I mean, ask anyone who invested in Tesla early. But in this short term, it's a roller coaster ride for sure. So that kind of begs the question, is it a mistake to buy Palantir when this type of market does not lend itself to owning stocks that have any risk, either perceived or real risk, in a company that seems to have, some slowing growth? If we're all being honest here, they seem to be slowing down some. I mean, I know for me, every time I buy it, it immediately sends the stock lower, and I think many of you guys out there feel the same way. And even if that doesn't happen to you, I don't know too many people out there that think the economy will be better next year, so it must be a mistake, right? Well, let me hit you with some facts that will help paint the picture with Palantir and explain my price target, more importantly, that's coming shortly. YouTubers, the media, I mean, basically everyone out there in media land needs content every day. So every day someone will show you a chart and a graph showing this could be the bottom, or this is the point the market will turn because we're not to the bottom yet, or this chart will tell you when the bottom's coming. If you see this, a crash is coming, and if this inverts for 69 days, then it will turn, and so on and so forth. And you guys know the narrative there with all that. Right now today, I can show you 25 graphs and charts that prove a bottom is in, and this is just the beginning of a nice rally up. And I can show you 25 more that prove we have a lot more pain ahead, and this is just the beginning of the bear market and we're going a lot lower. The fact is, we will not be able to tell where the actual bottom is for any stock or the market overall until well after the fact. And I'm probably talking months, maybe even longer after the bottom is actually set. So guessing now is useless, and it's just that. It's a guess with a pretty chart behind it, so I pay zero attention to it, and I think you should pay zero attention to it too. Now, let me give you the flip side here. If I'm a trader, these charts are much more valuable and may provide some day trading or swing trading signals. But that is a completely different strategy where the entries and exits are for short-term moves, and in a lot of cases actually hurt a long-term investor if they follow the same path, because the goal and the strategy is very different. Most media pundits on CNBC and other news outlets are traders. They're not long-term investors. Kramer is a trader. Almost all fund managers are traders. YouTubers that discuss getting in and out of stocks are traders. They're not long-term buy and hold investors either. Even if they say they are, they're not. The reality to me is, if you think Palantir is a $25 stock in 3 years, for example, is $7 or $8 a great price to own Palantir at? Now sure, buying at $6 is better, and buying at $5 is even better than that. But how upset will you be if you bought it at $8, $7, whatever, if the price hits $20, $25 in 3 years? I know I sure wouldn't be upset unless I didn't gobble up all the shares that I could. Let me illustrate this just a little bit further with a real example. Tesla bottomed out in 2020 at $28 per share. But if you missed the bottom and bought at $35 instead, are you still mad about not buying at $28, given that it's around $200 now and has been as high as $400? Now, of course, 28 is better, but unless you are the mythical market timer that has never existed before, you probably didn't buy all your shares perfectly on that day. So as long as you were buying when it was a steal deal, you should be very happy overall. If sitting on a 6x during a market crash doesn't excite you, my guess is you need to just go to Vegas, because actual investing will never make you happy or be enough excitement for you. Now, I have made this mistake before and gotten too fancy when a stock is super undervalued and tried to time the market or get it lower when it just didn't matter because it was so undervalued to begin with. So I'm not criticizing, I'm not saying anything against anybody else or anything else like that. I've been there. It's a hard thing to do because we all want a better deal. You just got to understand that sometimes you're still getting a great deal regardless. So on to the next question, which is, are we getting ready to start an epic rally? Or is it just kind of a tease and we're going lower? That, and obviously if it goes lower, that will absolutely affect my price target. The answer is quite simple, despite what the media or YouTubers will tell you. Nobody knows. That's the secret. Nobody knows. And honestly, it doesn't matter, more importantly, as I'm not buying index funds, and this crash has shown it doesn't matter either. Some stocks bottomed out in June and didn't even get close to making new lows when the market, basically tested those lows in, August, September, October timeframe again. Those are facts, and I can go across all the stocks that I own, and many of you can do the same thing, and see that the exact same thing played out between the market making new lows and then new lows, and then obviously some of your stocks did, and some of your stocks didn't follow that at all. So as an individual stock buyer, I don't care what the market is doing, since it may or may not reflect what is going on with the stocks that I own or that I want to buy. And so if Palantir is below your price target and undervalued based on your valuation, and more importantly, if you see huge upside based on the numbers and growth rates and what they're doing as a company, then for me, I am pulling the trigger and have been pulling the trigger. Heck, if you aren't comfortable with any of this and trying to figure out what the market will do, just a simple DCA works great. Set it up and execute regardless of what the market does. That's how a DCA works. You just set it up and keep, basically executing your buys on your schedule that you set up for your DCA. Not this trash that I've seen over the past year, where it basically says like DCA at all-time highs and on dips, but wait, no, stop DCA until this, but now it's okay to DCA, but now stop again because of this or whatever. That's called trading, not DCAing into a stock, so don't fall for that narrative or that sort of stuff that's out there. So let me give you my price target for Palantir stock. Now remember, you must do your own due diligence and create a plan and price targets that fit your plan, your income streams, your risk tolerance, and all that sort of stuff like that. Those factors are different for each of us, so your numbers probably will not match mine, and the amount you want to own will not match mine either, and you just may not want to own it at all, which is also just fine. Investing is individual, and there are plenty of great stocks that are not right for me that you own, and there will be stocks that are right for me that are not right for you. And that is the beauty of investing. We can both make a lot of money with very different mixes of stocks. Also keep in mind that Palantir is a growth stock, which are much harder to value than other type stocks like value stocks and large cap stocks. So that means depending upon your assumptions, you may be higher or lower than I am, and it may be by a lot. The variance will be wider with a stock like this than it will be for Apple, for example, where we may disagree on where Apple is going, but finding the current valuation will be very similar. So in the end, my price target for Palantir stock is $11. So to me, Palantir is a steal right now, so I will continue to add below that target. So hopefully this was helpful, and if you don't know how to get a price target or how to do a valuation and want a step-by-step process for doing that, building wealth, and you want direct access to me and much more, remember to check out the pinned comment down below to become a member and at least look at everything you get. And click this video here for the stocks I'm still buying in this market, and click here for exactly what I'm doing to make huge money in this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.